It's been more than 2 years since the March 2020 tornadoes destroyed hundreds of homes and businesses across Middle Tennessee. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Vicki Yates. Almost immediately, millions of dollars in donations began to roll in to help the victims. But what happened to that money? Investigative reporter Jennifer Krause has been digging, trying to find out.
That's right. You know, we started by going to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee. They had the big job of making sure those donations wound up in the right hands. We have spent weeks asking questions, but surprisingly, we did not get a lot of answers. It was one of the worst tornado outbreaks in Tennessee history. 25 people died when powerful tornadoes slammed into Nashville and then Wilson and Putnam counties in the early morning hours of March 3rd, 2020. And as word of the disaster spread, donations started pouring in.
The Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee just created a fund,
with all the money going to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee.
We took in about $12.5 million total. And came from all over the world.
But what happened to that money? The Community Foundation, believe it or not, is insane.
We feel confident in our level of transparency to this point.
Amy Fair oversees disaster relief at the Community Foundation. This 2012 agreement with the mayor's office put the foundation in charge of the collection and distribution of donations in Nashville after disasters, not directly to individuals, but to nonprofits and churches that work with survivors and identify who needs what.
We distribute the money to organizations that we have relationships with, that we walk alongside in disaster.
The Community Foundation describes on its website how transparency is a critical component in disaster grant making. But when we asked to see a breakdown of how donors' dollars were spent, the Community Foundation told us no.
It's always a concern when the public asks for a reasonable amount of accountability about how their donations were spent, and they don't get an adequate response.
Lori Styron is the executive director of Charity Watch, a national group that investigates charities and how efficiently they raise and spend the money entrusted to them. And she says charities must be transparent.
If I give you X amount of money, what will you accomplish with it?
The Community Foundation told us to look at their tornado response website.
And you think what's on the website is enough?
Yes, I do.
Fair points to these stories, as she calls them, which essentially are profile pieces on some of the organizations that received tornado relief money and the people that were helped. But Charity Watch's Lori Styron says
it's really inadequate.
What's missing here are specifics.
What did they accomplish? And it can't be something vague like we built houses or we helped pay mortgages. It has to be quantifiable. How many houses did you build? How many people did you help?
The website does have a list of all tornado grant recipients and how much each got. But if you're looking for details, most of the early grants simply say they were used to support relief efforts in the aftermath of the March 2020 tornadoes.
That doesn't tell people anything.
Right. We'll get more granular in that final report.
Fair says she plans to put together a final report once all the tornado relief work is done, hopefully by the end of this year.
But do you think you're sharing enough information?
I do for the time right now. I mean, we provide the information on the website. We're not required to, but we do.
Fair told us if we wanted specifics to ask the grant recipients themselves. So we did. We reached out to many of these groups, including those that got multiple grants totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. What we wanted to know was, where did the money go? How did they spend it? We asked for details, specifics. But from a lot of these groups, we got nothing. That's right. More than half of the nonprofits did not respond to us, or they provided few, if any, specifics, including the Community Resource Center, which got more than $500,000 in tornado relief money, Inspiritus, which got nearly $1.5 million, and Crosspoint Church in Mount Juliet, which got $219,000 and told us they did not wish to participate in our story. And there were plenty of others as well that got money but wouldn't tell us where it went.
Well, they told us who they're responsible to, who received the money. We know how all of them used the money.
If a charity is not excited to tell you about what it's accomplished with your donations, if it's not excited to account for how it used your money, that should be a red flag for you.
And Styron warns donors may not be so generous the next time disaster strikes.
When people stop trusting that charities are going to be accountable for their donations, then they stop donating.
Now, perhaps most surprising is that we found the Community Foundation sent out nearly $2 million to dozens of organizations that never even asked for money. One group had no idea it had even received money until we asked about that. And that's how we discovered that the Community Foundation has not tracked the money and cannot account for how or even if the money has been spent. That part of the story tomorrow night here on News Channel 5 at 6.
All right, thanks so much, Jennifer. Now, in the interest of transparency, it's worth mentioning that we, along with every media outlet in town, have partnered with the Community Foundation for years to raise money for these disaster relief funds.